Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, PA? How you doing? Yeah, the Void. No, the Void is hollering back. Yeah, I'm sitting there wondering, what is this thing? I just realized what this is. Sorry, this is one of my models. I got one of my models up here. Hey, what's going on? I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name, but what's going on, you? This is my Millennium Falcon model. It's just like right there. Oh man. Oh man. So it's funny, a lot of people are all like, hey, Brian Harry. So a whole bunch of new people. Hey guys, I'm sorry, no special guests today. I, a whole week people are like, hey, so Professor Bill, who are you gonna get for your special guest this week? Dude, I wasn't even planning on Donnie being my special guest until about an hour and a half maybe before he actually came on the podcast. That was literally like, go check out Venom #4, my review. He was just, I mentioned in there like twice, like, hey man, I'd love to have you on. And he's just like, oh, hey, yeah, I'd love to be on. Like, that's not Donnie Cates. I go in contact, that's really Donnie Cates. Oh shoot, hey, bruh. So that was weird. Hey Tommy, what's going on, cuz? You remember watching this as a kid? What? It was known as UPN. What are you talking about? Oh, dude, yeah, okay, you're in Italy. Cool. Which part of Italy are you in? I forget. I'm originally from Sicilia, Sicily, but I have a great grandmother from Naples. So yeah, a little bit of Napolitan there somewhere. Anyway, all of it beautiful. Sicily, not quite so much. It is what it is. But the rest of Italy, absolutely gorgeous. They take care of that part. They don't take care of Sicily. Anyway, I did actually want to have a guest on. I actually wanted Jim Comics to be on, but he never got back to me. So it is what it is. Strange. Oh yes, Oliver Queen. Oh, you're from Milan. Cool. Yeah, you're way up north, dude. Dude, Dark Side is, I know, man. I can't wait. 2 more issues for that. Okay, PA. So, yes, Paula. What happened? Blah, 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 blah. Where was it? Oh, yes, the example that I give. Some of these people. Oh, Star Trek. Yes. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Star Trek for a minute. Yes, when Channel 9 was called UPN. What's it called now? They got the Edward R. Murrow Award like 2 years running for the UPN News, if I remember, way back in the day, back in Jersey. Anyhow, so, yeah, when the comment that you made in there, PA, I didn't feel like trying to word it and type it all out and whatnot. But the example that a lot of people say, when they, from those channels, when they say like, oh, how come comics can't be like back in the day? Everything's all SJW now. Yeah, I understand the extreme version of SJW, but today the term SJW just goes a little bit it's a little bit too broad. It's supposed to be specific, and now it's very broad. Now it's like anybody on the left, which is just, that's not accurate. It's simply not accurate. But when they sit there and say something to the effect of, why can't comics be like back in the day? And most people just simply say like, oh, well, what about the X-Men? No, the X-Men wasn't really like, it's like when you start being an apologist, it's like, then what do you say about something like you said? What about the old Green Arrow back in the day? When every single one of those issues was about social justice. They weren't social justice warrioring. There was no such thing at the time. There was no internet at the time. But like, what about back in the day when people used to, those channels, those crap channels. And they're more comedy channels as far as I'm concerned. Unfortunately, it's not just raunchy comedy. It's that kind of comedy that gets people to want to punch you in the face. And then they turn around like a bunch of snowflakes. They're always talking about, we're alpha males. We're alphas. You guys are babes. They just threatened me on the internet to punch me. Oh my God. They threatened me with violence. They're sociopaths. You bunch of pussies. Anyway, so, sorry, dude. 6 years in the military. And you know what? A lot of those guys who sit there professing to be in the military, let me tell you something. People like me, we call them new army. You know what I'm saying? We call them new military. And like, no disrespect for somebody who's going to serve. It is what it is. But when those guys start trying to talk tough, like when, I'm going to name him because he named me. When Captain Cummings came onto my channel And onto one of my Captain Life with Captain Marvel issue 1, called me a hippie. Nope, sorry, too young to be a hippie, too old to be a hipster, and insulted me. I just sat there and I looked. I was like, this guy was just at a tour recently. Now I'm way too old to be in the military at this point. 35 is the cutoff. That's it. You're done. You can't be in anymore. You know what I'm saying? But like at one point, what the hell? This freaking guy. Hey Raven, what's going on? Welcome back. Oh yeah, the cough guy. You're hysterical. But yeah, when he just said that, I was just laughing to myself. I'm like, this guy thinks that he's a tough guy, but to me, like he's new military. When I was in the military, they had just started the cutoff where the drill sergeants aren't allowed to hit you anymore. Unfortunately, most of those drill sergeants didn't get the memo. I did get hit once. Dude hit me in my stomach. Actually doubled me over. I didn't take a knee, but actually doubled me over. I'm just like, you know, when you get punched in the liver, you know, or just right in the solar plexus and suddenly you can't catch your breath anymore. Oh man, like I don't know how the heck I was still standing. If he would have hit me in the jaw like that, I would not still be standing. Like that dude freaking hit like a brick, you know what I'm saying? But I see people getting hit all the time, dude. It wasn't just moral intimidation that they did. You know what I'm saying? Like they were rough. I saw a dude get hit over the head with a clipboard. And it was one of those situations where a guy got hit so hard and you could tell he was really like if he didn't have a concussion, I don't know what the heck he has in his head. But it was one of those times where the dude got hit so hard that the rest of us talking afterwards were like, you know, if the clipboard would have just broken, it probably wouldn't have been so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude got freaking walloped. Like, had it on both ends. Like, the way that, when I was in the martial arts and the way they would hold the boards like that, that's the way this drill sergeant was sitting there holding the freaking clipboard. Bam! Like, that thing should have broken, and it didn't, but that dude just crumbled. Yo, we got beaten up by drill sergeants. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not totally against that. Yes, the idea, like, that was a bit much. That was a bit much. Getting punched, I can forgive that, let it go, because if we ever get caught, you know what I'm saying, if we ever get captured, we're going to have a lot worse happen to us, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But the new army, okay, this new military, they have these things called stress cards. It's almost like, you know, what's up, Jay Dizzle? Go Skittle, what's going on, man? It's, oh, Subam, what's going on, man? Yeah, I know, I'm excited about Hicks. But anyway, they used to, have you ever seen football? By football, I mean soccer. I've been all over the world. So to me, football, like there's American football and regular football, world football. But in America, we call it soccer. I think they call it soccer here for the most part in Canada too. But yeah, freaking soccer, they have these cards. It's a yellow card, meaning like you're going to go sit out the rest of the game or something like that, or you're going to take a timeout. But a red card means like you're banned for the rest of this game and the next game or something like that. I don't remember the entirety of the rules. I'll talk about that, Tommy. Don't let me forget. Football greater than soccer. But this cat, like today's military, you get these little cards. They're yellow or they're red or they're white. I don't know what the heck they are, but they're called stress cards apparently. I swear to God, this is the most ridiculous thing. Like, what happened to our military? You know what I'm saying? They have it now that you can pull out a card if the drill sergeant is yelling at you too much. All right, you can pull out this card and you just have to hold it up. And the drill sergeant has to give you 5 minutes or 10 minutes or the rest. I don't know what. Like, you get a timeout. You basically put yourself in timeout. You're getting stressed too much. It's the military. What exactly did you think you were signing up for? It's the most ridiculous thing ever. What's going on, Steve Grant? He tagged you on Twitter, too. And his followers, just because I wrote on Heather Anto's status that Rico Tico was greater than Boba Fett. Oh, Rose Tico. Rose Tico. I know the name. I can't place it though. You know, people are funny, man. People are just funny. With a yellow card, you're still on the pitch, but with the second yellow, you're out for the rest of the game. Okay, that's the way it is. Thanks. Dude, I don't know how to pronounce that name. So, Italy, you. Um, and you would know because freaking boom. Hey, what's going on, Edward Brewer? Gotham Collections, what's going on? The military sounds like a Marvel movie zing. I don't know, man. Yeah, Rose Tico from Star Wars. Like, is that? I can't remember which character that is, but I think that was the new character that like fell in love with what's his name? Finn. I think that's the character that fell in love with Finn. But Jay Dizzle, what's going on? That's effing ridiculous. The military is supposed to be tough, so you can be tough enough to face, yes, the possible merciless enemy. You know, the biggest complaint that I had about the army when I was in the army is that they taught us the sound of the AK-47, but they never actually taught us to use the AK-47. We are the military. We use the M16, and there's a thing out by people talking about they're not called assault rifles. When I was in the Army, I very distinctly remember them being called the M16A1 or A2 assault rifle. They were called assault rifles. So I don't know where that narrative is coming from. You know what I'm saying? I believe that people should be allowed to have guns within reasons. But like the narrative that people try to use sometimes, oh no, man, they're never called assault rifles. That's something that you know liberals made up. No, it's not. No, it's absolutely not. I distinctly remember them being called assault rifles as opposed to a sidearm. You know, come on. Anyway, Def Rocker, what's going on? Why do comic books and other mags cost more in Canada? The high cost of living. The way that works is the dollar ratio. It's a weird thing. Canada's let's see if, you know what? Hey, babe, do you think you could better explain why Canada's currency is higher than America's always? Okay. I still love you. Okay. My Canadian wife has no clue. She doesn't know how to explain it. Basically, the currency is based on America in many ways, in many regards. So American businesses have their businesses in Canada because they're able to, you know, work different deals, cheaper deals. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We've got Ford plants here. Meanwhile, in America, we've lost our Ford plants. So here, they've got Ford plants and things like that. Anyway, Canada exists. So anyway, yeah, so a lot of the the Canadian dollar is based on the U.S. dollar. So we're artificially inflated here above the U.S. dollar. So yeah, it's a weird thing. If there was one time a couple of years ago, several years ago, that the Canadian dollar actually went lower than our dollar. It was cheaper than our dollar, and they immediately inflated it further. It has to stay higher so that American businesses can have cheaper prices here. Like it's a weird thing. That's why one of those things where they say like, you know, oh, America or Canada is cheating us and stuff like that. Canada is not cheating us. Canada is the only country in the entire world that does trade with America where the U.S. actually benefits from those trades. Like facts are facts are facts. It is what it is. There's absolutely nothing here with the pro-Canada. No, nothing like that. Just it's a fact. Plus free healthcare. And you know what's funny, Animal Mother? Canadians here complain that out of all the countries, that's like 35 European countries in the world that have healthcare, Canada's healthcare is the worst. And the only way that they can look down on America is the fact that Americans don't have universal healthcare. It's, wow, that's sad. So somehow we're going to get to talking about comics here. Anyway, the whole thing with Paula P.A. Stewart before was that there's selective reasoning. In fact, there's sometimes selective intelligence when it comes to looking back on comic books back in the day. Yeah, comic books were made by, and I don't mean to get too political here, because I know that comic books are supposed to be an escape, but like there are people who are forgetting the history of comic books. And as an amateur comic book historian, it's important to me that all aspects of comic books be understood. I am mostly Sicilian. Sicilians, like all Italians, but mostly Sicilians, when we first came to America, I'm third generation. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm living in Canada. But I'm an Italian American. And like my grandfather, when he first came, when he was in this country, when he was working, when he was doing all that stuff, he was never considered white. I know that's the strangest thing in the world, right? It's the strangest thing in the world to imagine right now. My grandfather, my 100% full-blooded Sicilian grandfather, was not considered white. He was called the N-word. He was able to, the only jobs he was able to get were jobs like at gas stations and at, what do you call, car washes, where he worked with other people who had, well, actually, I shouldn't say other people. He never had a criminal record. My grandfather never went to jail. My grandfather had one speeding ticket his entire life. You know what I'm saying? But he had to work in places where there were people who were reformed criminals. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, yes, and you just look at the way that the country's set for the war on drugs and everything. He worked with Latinos and he worked with black people. That's who he worked with. That's all he was able to get jobs working at. And like, it was the best job in the world, the best opportunity in the world, when one day he was able to get a job working in a paint factory. He also got exposed to lead paint, and he can't use his left arm. He can move his left hand, but somehow the nerves in the arm itself are really messed up, and it's not quite atrophied, but it's almost like that because of the lead paint. He got a settlement out of it, but he also doesn't have a left arm for the most part. But like, this is the kind of garbage that, you know, people had to go through back in the day. What's going on, Chef Marcos? So back in the day, the Italians were looked down upon by the British that occupied, not just the British, dude, it wasn't even mostly the British that were here. It's mostly Germans, mostly Dutch people, the Deutsch people who were here. You know what I'm saying? Like, most people, and of course the Irish. Now, I want to add, the Irish were not considered white at the time. That's the reason why, you know, whenever the Irish are like, dude, us and the Chinese, we had to work the railroads. And when you have people who don't know, and maybe they are SJWs, these people, when they say, oh yeah, but the Irish, it wasn't the same. How do you know? You weren't there. You're clearly not a historian. You're not talking from any basis of intelligence. When you've got just look at Gangs of New York. That was a very accurate depiction. There were two different time frames being melded into one, but it's a very accurate portrayal or depiction of these people coming over. Like, what do you call it? You got three generations of Irish who came over to America. They would land on in two different ports, one in the south and one in the north. Actually, two in the north. And when they landed, they were immediately conscripted. They said, "Hey, man, you know, you're not a citizen. You're nothing. You're nobody. You're here. You got nothing. What are you going to do? Tell you what." You go over there and you sign on the dotted line that you're going to join the military. You and your family are immediately going to become citizens, and you're going to get a rifle and a uniform and all this stuff, and you're going to get 3 square meals a day, and we're going to send your family whatever amount of money per month. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, I left my country because of Great War, and I'm coming here to join a war. And when they went and fought in the war, who were they fighting against? Mostly other Irishmen who were conscripted from the South. Yeah, it was a messed up part. The Irish were not considered white when they first came over here, and the Jews were never considered white when they were here and first coming here and whatnot. So Irish, Italian, and Jewish people were not considered white back when these beloved comic book characters were first created in the Golden Age, and all before and up until around the time of the Silver Age, a little bit afterwards. Stan Lee has talked about it extensively. Jack Kirby has talked about it extensively. Like, most of the comic book creators are Jewish people who have changed their names to more Latinized names because, you know, they're in the West now and they're trying to, yes, a lot of them were trying to hide, and they were not ashamed of their origin, but they wanted to get a job, so they did what they had to do, and it's messed up. So yes, they were making comic books 100% about, well, at the time it was mostly war and, you know, let's you know, help people to join World War II. But at the same time and after that, it was all a story about immigrants coming over to this country and people who were not accepted in the country and people trying to be better and trying to help out the poor and the persecuted. I mean, like all the ads that they had in the comic books back in the days, you know, of, hey, anybody you treat, like literally you can find those advertisements on the internet. Hey man, you know, Superman showing up, anybody who hurts somebody because of ethnicity or religion, I don't care if they're black, I don't care if they're Muslim, I don't care what they are, you don't, you know, treat those bad, otherwise you're the bad guys. Superman said stuff like that. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know, like, when these people, yes, these people on those channels say things like that, they just, they bleed of hypocrisy and pure ignorance. And I'm pretty sure it's selective ignorance, because I don't know how they can profess to love comic books and not know that crucial part of the history of comic books. That just, it drains my brain, man. I have no idea how these people want to sit there and overlook the crucial foundation of what superheroism actually was. What was superhero? Like when Mark Waid went and said, "Oh yeah, man, the people who are strong are supposed to protect people who are weak," and your boy Zach, you know, saying goes and attacks him and says, "Oh, so you're calling these people weak and blah blah blah." Stop changing the narrative. What he just gave was the perfect pitch for every single superhero comic that has ever existed. The strong protect the weak. That's comic books. And you're not a fan of comic books if you don't get that. You're a fan of superheroes, you're a fan of powerful people punching less powerful people. But you're not a fan of comic books, man. You're just not. If you don't get that basic premise that has existed in comic books forever, since the creation of the first superhero. I just don't know where this is coming from. Oh, man. Okay, Mark Guerrero. The hardcore release of Shazam! Monsters Side of Evil was canceled. What? Because of a few racist things in the book. That's messed up. Now I need to find out more about that. Animal Mother 80, Stan Lebowski might be wrong on that, but yes, not Stan Lee originally. Stan Lebowski, Stan Leibowitz? His name was Stanley Leibowitz. I think that you're talking about Stan Lee when you mean Stan Lebowinski. Maybe it's somebody else, I don't know. Comics Explained. I like Aquaman now. Aquaman's freaking awesome. I just put up Aquaman, 10 things about Aquaman today, and a story of his origin story in DC Special issue number 19. Oh, excuse me. The same writer would stay on it, but things change. Yeah, I know. Abnett's awesome, dude. Still gonna buy it when she starts and judge then. Yeah, I think that she's going to do a good job. She's going to do a misplaced memory thing. Oh, and guys, if you want, on Jim Comics is a different topic. Joseph's Comics, on Joseph's Books, the Joseph's Books channel. It was like last week or the week before. I think it was like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I did a podcast with a live stream with him and J.K. Knight. J.K. Knight, I can't remember. DKN. Dark Knight. I don't remember what the N stands for. But anyway, that channel. And you can find all of us on there from Joseph's Books. Go and check it. It was like a really long, maybe 4-hour podcast. I don't remember what it was, but it was ridiculously long. Anyway, yeah. So you can go and check all that stuff out there. I made a lot of commentary on Aquaman. I gave pitches for the way the Dark Comics book should go out. The Dark Comics, the Justice League comics should go out and all that. How Batman should be used in the comics. Oh, yeah. I heard it's staying on its own separate series. Oh, talking to Ghost. You Italian. I should call you You Paisan, even though Milan is very north of me. Any concerns about Dylan Dog's upcoming TV series? Are you looking forward to it? Dylan Dog's, I saw you posting about that in the Comic Book University Facebook group. I am looking forward to that. I wish that we had more access to that stuff here where I'm at in Canada, because that would be really cool. I would love to be able to go back and read some of that stuff. I wonder if I can find the stuff on Comixology. That's what I should be doing. Brian Harry, who was better in your opinion, Infinity War #1 or Mr. Miracle #10? Infinity War 1 was only better in the sense that I was surprised that they got a much better art, no disrespect. Somebody doing much better art, in my opinion. Art that's more palatable to my taste. Crotch rockets outside. The art really picked up a lot, and the story just moved. Like, it was like a punch in the face. We're like, who's Requiem? We only saw like little cameos of her in the shadows before, and all of a sudden here's her second full appearance, and all of a sudden, bang, it's Gamora. You know, and what? And all the crazy stuff that she did, dude. Like, it's pretty sick, man. It's pretty sick. So it's hard to. But Mr. Miracle has been consistently good. I think for like 2 issues, it kind of bottomed out as far as it's concerned. But it was kind of redundant for like 2 issues. But it's back to being great again. Somebody asked, "Are you going to interview Tom King?" If Tom King wants to talk, I would love to talk to Tom King. Like, forget about it, man. Steve Grant. Steve Grant. Isn't that another version? Isn't that the serial version of Captain America from that 12-part mini serial, black and white back in the day, the first time we went to the big screen? I think that was Stephen Grant. That was his name there. I just fear that Comicsgate doesn't target you. He came onto my channel, and he knows that this isn't his channel. He knows that this isn't his crowd. Every so often somebody comes on and has a conversation with me, and it's one of those things where I don't usually walk a fine line. You know what I'm saying? I'm me, and I don't like to watch other people's channels because I don't want their opinions to influence mine. You know what I'm saying? Because people can be very influential. People's voices can be very influential. You can follow someone to who was it? Aleister Crowley had said once. No, it wasn't Aleister Crowley who said this. It was one of his disciples in the Golden Dawn who had mentioned that Aleister Crowley never told his students to do anything, but he was the type of person that if he walked through the gates of hell, he would leave the door open. You get it? So I don't really even leave doors open. You know what I'm saying? I believe in my opinions, and I can be swayed. I'm not belligerent. You know what I'm saying? I believe in a lot of what they say over in Comicsgate. But not by believe. I agree. My opinions co-align with many. I think probably most of their opinions over there. But at the same time, it's got to be understood what they are. They're trolls. They get their popularity by going on Twitter, mostly Twitter, and attacking people, trying to get, trying to provoke people, trying to do things to be like, oh, you suck, you're horrible, you're miserable. I mean, just Donnie Cates was mentioning it last week on this podcast, exactly 1 week ago today, when he was talking about when you go out of your way to make sure that we know that you don't like the comic book, that's poignant. But then when you start throwing on insults and whatnot, like, you got to remember, nobody's trying to ruin your character. Nobody's trying to write a bad comic book. The only people, for the most part, who are writing comic books are people who are fans of comic books, people who want to do this stuff. When, and like, we're so willing to defend people who don't deserve our defense. And it kind of brings us down also, and that's got to be understood. Guys, I try, what is it in comic books? In the very first appearance of Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy, issue number 15, it wasn't Peter Parker, it wasn't Ben, it wasn't Uncle Ben who said it, it was actually Peter Parker who said it in a narration box. It must be understood that with great power, there must also come great responsibility. That was the life lesson that Peter Parker learned in that issue that drove comic books home for so many people. That was the greatest thing that happened in the Silver Age. Yeah. Barry Allen became the Flash instead of Jay Garrett. A whole bunch, and that was technically considered the initialization of the actual Silver Age. But Spider-Man was something else, man. Spider-Man was something that just got people like, oh, I can be a superhero. I don't have to be the sidekick who hangs with the superhero. I can be the superhero. You know what I'm saying? That was something that was so amazing to us as comic book readers. We can be the superheroes. The way that these Comicsgate's people act, and just the idea that they're really happy calling it Comicsgate after Gamergate. I mean, I went and looked up Gamergate. Sorry, the narrative is completely against those guys. But when you think about it, the people writing comic books, or the people from the Comicsgate or Move the Needle community, which side is actually acting more like Peter Parker? Which one is acting more like a superhero? I mean, even if you're going to take like Wolverine and the Punisher and Lobo even, okay, some of the worst of the worst, right? Are some of these guys acting like those guys? Look, man, it's not about, it's not about not liking comic books. It's not about loving everything that comes out. We're allowed to love or dislike or even hate anything that comes out. And we're nerds. We're all nerds. But you think about the way that the nerd community treats each other, man. Like hiding in our basements. Like, I remember back in the day, like, I'm wearing a Daredevil t-shirt right now. Back when I graduated high school in 1993. Do you know how many comic book t-shirts I wore back in high school? Zero, zilch, nada, nothing. Big fat goose egg. Dude, I wore none. And right now, like, I'm a 6'5". I've been in the martial arts since I was 8. People knew me as a dangerous person. Like, I'm not a bully. But I'm the guy who I hung out with this guy one time who he had just turned 18 a couple of months ago. He was 19. He was 19 because he failed like one of his grammar school grades for too many absences. And most of us were 16 and 17 in our junior year, so in 11th grade. And this one dude, actually there was 3 guys. There was this group called the Lynch Mob, 3 white guys who couldn't get into the cool black gangs, so they made their own gang called the Lynch Mob with 3 punks who just, yeah. They call themselves the freaking Lynch Mob. And this one guy, Kenny, who eventually went on to join the Marines, but he was still a punk. He tried to talk trash. I stood up and no joke, he ran away from me. He physically stood up. We were both sitting down at a table. I was at a restaurant. He was the server at the restaurant. And he sat down. I'm with my friends, and he was just, like trash talking me. And then I just got so done with it, I stood up and he ran. The guy worked there, for crying out loud. He ran. Sorry, you could bring a punk to the Marines, but you can't take the punk out of the Marine. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, oh my God, what a punk! I slapped him in junior year one time because him and the other 2 punks from the Lynch Mob were talking trash to my buddy Mike. And he's like, dude, I would knock you guys out, but I'm too old. I'm 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get arrested if I hit you guys, if I put my hands on you guys, unless you guys hit me first. So hit me first. Like, oh, nah, what's up, punk? What's up, punk? They're trying to act tough and whatnot. So I come walking up. I'm walking down the hall. I walk up the stairs and I turn the corner. I start walking down the hallway, and it's the first class on the left. I'm walking up and I'm seeing this, and I right away, like, I know the history with these guys, and they're talking, and I just walk up. I was like, hey, and Kenny turned around, and I said, boom, and I just slapped him across the face. I got a big, gigantic, meaty hand. You know what I'm saying? He had a mark on his face. Looked like, and we were all too young to have facial hair. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't growing a beard to hide that. A little punk. I was like, boom, I'm 17. Hit me, punk. I'll take on all 3 of you punks. Bring the noise. Who else I gotta hit? Come on. Who wants to step up? Dude, no way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was back in the day where you can get away with hitting someone. You know what I'm saying? I just read a comic book recently from the Golden Age where somebody goes and hits somebody, like attacks and beats the heck out of this dude. And I'm just laughing to myself. It's like, Back in the day, you could beat somebody up and you wouldn't go to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? Dude, but and I don't look back to those days with glee. I look back to them like that really was an uncivilized age where we had laws but nobody actually followed them. It's like, oh, well, you talk trash to somebody so you deserve to get punched in the face. Okay, cool. But a lot of these people that these kiddie poos are talking to are from that age. So yeah, there are people who, if you, like, I'm not going to lie, if somebody comes up and gets in my face and starts talking trash, there's a good chance they're going to eat my elbow. And they can talk about suing me and whatnot if they want, but they're going to be doing it through a straw. You know what I'm saying? As mean as it sounds, like, oh, Bill, you're so violent. No, I come from a different time period. I come from a different era. When I was born, there was no internet. There wasn't. I was one of the people who started working on the first wireless internet back in 1990, the very butt end of 1997, but mostly 98 and 99 is when I was working on wireless internet with a New Bridge. It was the project was called New Bridge. It's not secret anymore. I can talk about it, whatever. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the era that I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? Where you memorize phone numbers because we don't have cell phones. I grew up when all of a sudden beepers became a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Where we hung up phones as opposed to pushed a button. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we just come from a different era. And when you talk trash to somebody like that, like you keep prodding, somebody's going to want to shut you up. And these punks, these little babies, these sissies, these people who, they try to act tough, but for crying out loud, you could hear it in their voices. You could hear, like you could hear in somebody's voice if they've got some bass or not. And like, who are you going to be more afraid of? The guy who talks like this? Or the guy who talks like this, man? And when somebody talks like that, they got the high-pitched voice, you know they don't have the lung capacity to last in a fight. You know they don't have the backbone or the butt weight to throw a punch. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't condone violence at all. But I 100% understand when somebody gets so sick and tired, it's like, dude, if I saw you in real life, I would knock you the heck on the ground. Because that's, back in my day, that's how you teach somebody manners. Go ahead and go to Facebook, go back to Facebook and look at all the old people talking about, you know, the fact that we don't hit our kids anymore is the reason why we have so much disrespect towards elders. Well, that's one of the reasons. Maybe that's one of the reasons. But, dude, man, like, these are just little punks. These are little sissies. These are little babies who hide behind their anonymity. There's a reason why they don't want to show their faces, for crying out loud. Like, go back and look at, what was that one book with Piggy and all them? The Lord of the Flies. They talk a lot about the psychology of wearing a mask. You can be someone else while you're wearing a mask. You know what I'm saying? You can be braver while you're wearing a mask. Your identity is protected. It's the reason why superheroes wear a mask, because they want to protect their families. In this regard, these people, they're not wearing a mask for that reason. They're not, you know, holding the camera this way instead of this way. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to protect their families. No. They're doing it because they want to remain anonymous, because guess what? Bad guys wear masks too. When push comes to shove, these are cowards who are weak, little, frightened, scaredy cat, yellow belly, sap-sucking losers. Losers. And they want to try and get famous and get the rub from somebody big by starting trash with somebody who's already established. Let's be realistic. Here are people who, look, how did Mark Waid become famous? Did Mark Waid get famous because he was talking trash to people? No. He got famous because he wrote good comic books for a really, really long time. That's somebody who put in the work, okay? As disrespectful as this is going to sound to all the hard work, I admit, okay, that the Diversity in Comics dude put in some hard work to make his comic books and whatnot. But how did he become famous? Was it for writing amazing comic books? I don't care if you consider him having written the best comic book that's ever existed, or the Jawbreakers, whatever it's called. Cute, really cute guy. New Army, talking about Jawbreakers. He must be talking about the candy. He's got to be talking about the candy. Either way, here's this guy with a squeaky little voice, you know what I'm saying, who, yeah, you could talk a big damn game, dude, but when push comes to shove, His comic book didn't become famous. Oh, biggest selling comic book on Indiegogo. I don't care. Because for me, it's not about what you do, it's how you do it. And for most of us who come from that generation, it's not what you did, it's how you do it. It's not the end results. The ends don't justify the means. Mark Waid didn't call people wimps and start homophobing people and transphobing people. And I love when people say, oh, give me a proof when he did it. And then I give people a proof, and they say, oh, that's just one example. You asked for a proof. You asked for one example. Do you want more? No, I'm not going to waste my time giving you more proofs. You've seen the proofs because you're not blind. You may be blind, what is it called? Idyllically blind. You may be morally blind. You may be morally bankrupt. But you've seen the proofs. You've seen the proofs, for crying out loud. So when these people get famous for insulting other people, you are a scumbag, loser, waste of life who quite literally does nothing for society. Okay, here we go. You want to talk about the ultimate tough guy? If the lights go out right now, if the zombie apocalypse happens, okay? If somehow we get attacked and Red Dawn happens, okay? And I don't care who it is. I don't care which version of Red Dawn. You know what I'm saying? If the lights go out and we're screwed, who's going to survive? Mark Waid can maybe survive by writing down the journals of this, that, and the other thing, whatever, or at least providing these mythologies of, to people. Like, priests make a big deal. Like, he would become a priest at that point. I'm thinking Dungeons and Dragons term. You know what I'm saying? Tell me exactly what somebody like these losers would contribute to society. Oh, they were in the military? I'm going to tell you something as a soldier, okay? As a 6-year Army infantry veteran, 80% of the soldiers who are there are meant to be shot so that the other 20% who actually know what they're doing don't die. They're only there to take a bullet for the more intelligent, for the better soldiers. That's the meanest thing in the world to say, right? Then go ahead and insult the entire United States military, because that's what we say in the military. I'm not here to pull punches. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to talk honestly, from the heart, shooting from the hip, which is actually something that we used to do in the M60. That's one of the actual firing methods. It's firing from the hip. But the point is, that's what we say in the military. I heard that in basic training. The drill sergeant walking by. 80% of you, your only purpose here, getting all this training and whatnot, you're not going to learn it. You're not going to learn it. I'm going to teach it. We're going to teach it. You're not going to learn it. But 20% of you will learn it. And the other 80% is here to catch a bullet so that you don't, and you can get the mission done. Welcome to the United States military. Moving on. People like that with the whiny little voices who talk tough on the internet. Come on, man. Come on, man. Have you ever seen a real fight about to happen, and here's a real tough guy over here? You know how you know which one's a real tough guy? The guy who's not talking trash back. The guy who's just standing there with that dead look on his face, where you're a piece of meat, and he's determining are you edible or not. The guy who's just kind of smiling a little bit, maybe nodding a little bit, waiting for you to get everything out because it's going to be all the more juicy when he literally one-shots the guy who's just blah, 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 blah at the mouth. These guys with these squeaky, whiny little voices, just talking. Oh, yeah, you're not so tough. If you have to say you're not so tough to someone, that means that they really are tough. Just heads up. And that's all that I ever hear from these squeaky, whiny little yellow belly sap-sucking punks who like to talk trash at the expense of other people for the sake of themselves becoming famous. Think about it. What do these people actually contribute to society? That's the entire basis of the capitalistic mentality. What do you contribute? Me, I'm an English teacher right now. I'm an English teacher. I teach English to people who don't speak English or don't speak English well. I improve the proficiency of fluency in other people right now. I'm a former electrical engineer. What do you call it? My status is set there. And I've done business on the international levels. I've lived and worked in 3 different continents, worked in 4 countries. All right. These are the things that I've contributed to society. What exactly do some of these other people contribute to society? Exactly. And that is the crux of what I have to say about these kinds of people. They don't contribute anything to society. If the lights go out, they're screwed. They're screwed. These are the kind of people who the biggest contribution they have to society is insulting other people. I remember the stories of Dr. J in basketball, who was just an awesome guy who could kick some serious butt on that field. I remember seeing guys like Muggsy come up. I remember Jordan coming up, Bird, Johnson. I remember a lot of these amazing basketball players coming up. And when these guys talk trash, they did it with multiple rings on their fingers. Today, everybody talks trash. They say, oh, it's the psychology game. It's only psychology if you've actually got the scores to back it up. You know what I'm saying? A skinny little punk with a squeaky voice talking trash to a guy much bigger than him. You're not, like, what is it called? Grieving? They're trying to grief someone? Good grief. All right, to quote Charlie Brown, good grief. These people contribute nothing. And when the lights go out, all right, if the lights ever go out one day, and we're all forming our little communities, all right, to protect ourselves from the Walking Dead, for crying out loud. When we're all looking at, what are you going to contribute? What are you going to contribute? What are you going to contribute? What are these guys going to contribute? Going out there and taunting zombies? They're part of the 80%. That's what they are. That's what they are. Not interested. Not interested. Really gets me going on that stuff, man. Okay, our sarcasm. Which director would you have doing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? The director I would have doing Volume 3, plain and simple, is James Gunn. I think it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous on the part of Disney. It's ridiculous on the part of Disney. And I believe that Marvel themselves should even stand up for him. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame that we've got to stand up for each other. Disney should just do the right thing. All right? This guy said these things 10 years ago. Does that excuse what he said? No. Does it excuse him? I think that actions speak louder than words. He stopped saying things like that. The idea of punishing somebody for something that happened 10 years ago suggests that people can't change. I believe that people can change. I do believe in forgiveness. Isn't that supposed to be a religious thing that the right is supposed to follow? Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen Stan Lee's The Lucky Man, Jay Dizzle? Yes, I watched the first 2 episodes of Lucky Man. Maybe 3. That was a long time ago. That was a real long time ago. Bang. Can't. Yeah, I remember it was fun. It was fun. Anyway, all right, let's go down. Shoot, falling. Oof, geez, way down, way down, way down. Okay, I'm just gonna go from here. Hey, what's going on, Suan? Gotham Collections, what's up? Dick Fillmore, what's going on, dude? No, oh, you guys talking about video games, really? Roman, how you doing? True Fan Forum, what's going on, bro? Okay, Zrom Zapper, I agree with you 100%. Well, thank you, if you're talking to me. Looney Tune 22, DNC is not a real man. Well, that's something I kind of have a little tiny bit of a problem too. Forget me 000. What's going on, dude? No, he's a real man. I imagine he's a real man. He's not a real good man. he's just not. When push comes to shove, he's not. Actions speak louder than words, man. But then again, all he's got is words, for crying out loud. It is what it is. Like, the dude there's this thing called humility, man. Just learn how to be a freaking human and understand that we're all just trying to do our job, you know? Anyway, whatever. No, he's a man, though. I imagine he's got all the proper man parts. Just wish he would act like it, I guess. What else we got here? Are we talking about the military? What's the topic here? Oh, dude, go back. Please just rewind. Because, yeah, I can't get back into that again. But, yeah, anyway, that was just PJ Stewart. Paula's point was that Yeah, the Green Arrow had some great, what today would be called SJW comics, but they had them back in the day. And it's not just those. Those were probably like the epitome of them, but there were so many comic books, but that's the way that comic books were always written back then. Always. It was about the moral decision. It was about what's the best decision to make here? What's the smartest decision? What's the decision that's going to help the most people? Gotham Collections wants to talk laser cats. Okay, if there's a thing called laser cats, I want to talk about laser cats too. Boom. Oh, are you an NBA fan, Bill? Back in the day, yes, because back in the day I was actually physically active and stuff like that. Yeah, I used to watch all that stuff. I used to play baseball especially, but I would watch baseball and I would watch basketball on TV. I never watched football, and that came back to bite me in the butt because in my second year of high school, so what is that, my sophomore year of high school, 10th grade, I tried out for the football team, and I got in trouble for what's called holding. I think it was called holding. You're supposed to I'm playing defense, and here's these people coming up, and I'm trying to protect the quarterback, and I just run forward, and sometimes, boom, hit somebody, but sometimes go up and grab them, and if they're trying to skip by you, you grab them and you throw them on the ground. How is that a bad thing? I don't understand how that's a bad thing. There are apparently rules about putting somebody on the ground. Okay, sorry, I never watched football growing up, so I don't know. I remember we were, for crying out loud. This is how not into football I am. I can't remember what it's called. I keep wanting to say the World Series. No, the Super Bowl. Gee, that's how much of a American football noob I am. I don't watch football. But the Super Bowl was, I don't remember which one. I don't remember who was playing, but I was in the Army. We were hanging out in some barracks. We got to be in the barracks 4 months out of the year. That was fun. Infantry soldiers, 8 months out of the year in a swamp in Georgia. That's just the way it rolls. But we were in the barracks. We were hanging out, and the World Series was on. It's like, oh, cool, the World Series. I just did it again. The Super Bowl was on. And we're sitting there watching it, and it's like, oh, dude, Bill's going to watch football with us. Cool. It's like, oh, yeah, what's going on, man? Hey. We're sitting down, we're looking at it. I'm just like, okay. So I need some explanation of the rules. And I think I got to like my third question, and at one point somebody's like, you're just like a woman. I was like, mother, what? He's like, you're like a woman, man. You don't take any interest in the game until the game is actually on. And then you start asking all the questions. Nuh-uh. When the game is over, ask your questions. During the commercials, ask questions. Not during the game. Like, all right, that's a fair statement. I'm fair. I ate that one. But like that, yeah, I just don't. I just never really got into football, American football like that. But I've tried to watch some soccer games, but by then, that was when I was in the Middle East. And by then, I'm just like, dude, I'm so done with watching sports on TV. It's realistically, it's just the same game over and over again. It's like, how many things can you really do with the ball? So, no, I'm a comics guy. I stick with my comics. That's it. Suan, we're talking about negativity doesn't get you anything in the long game. Yeah, it really is a short-term thing. Can you dig it, sucker? And that could be the Warriors or Booker T, who got it from the Warriors. Either way. Christopher Nolan is the greatest. He had his moments, but he also screwed up the WB Arrowverse in a big way. So you gotta give it to some people, but you gotta take it also, gotta take some. So should the guy who did Thor Ragnarok as a seconds? Oh, yeah, what was that? What, Tiki Takai? You know what's funny is I'm sitting here watching Thor Ragnarok right now. We were sitting down eating dinner, all right? And I turned on Netflix and I turned on Thor Ragnarok. My wife and I are sitting there watching. She's like, I forgot how great this movie is. Like, I know, right? And my kids are watching it, and they're just like, my son, he's 5. He's like, my oldest son, he's 5, and he's like, I know who that is. It's like, who's that? He's like, that's Thor. I was like, dude, high five, you know, and got down from the high chair and high five and get back up and eat your food. But yeah. If not Gunn, Mark Herrera says they should use Joss Whedon or Taki. Oh, I was right. Takai Waititi. Haha. I was very, very close. But anyway, no, man. Honestly, I don't want Guardians 3 done if it's not with Gunn. I don't want it done if it, without Gunn, it ain't done. I'm really bad at making slogans. I really am. It is what it is, man. But no, seriously, I don't even want Guardians 3 done. Will I not watch it? Will I boycott it? I don't know that I've boycotted movies before, but I have kind of boycotted movies before. I don't know that I'll watch it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know that I'll even watch it. And I'm one person in a sea of, quite literally, billions. So it is what it is. But I don't think that I'll watch it. I think that Disney should just do the right thing and understand that forgiveness and people changing is a real thing. I mean, for crying out loud, if it wasn't, hey, you remember Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby? Go look that one up, kids. Go look that one up. Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby. That was actually a Disney movie. And they've done plenty of movies like that. You know what I'm saying? So we should never forgive Disney, right? No, if James Gunn can't change, Disney can't change. Oh, that was a long time ago. Maybe. We also know that Walt Disney was an affirmed racist. People close to him have said Walt Disney was an actual real-life racist. He was genuinely racist. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. So we should just never forgive. Oh, it was built on the back of a racist, so we should never watch it, right? That's really silly. I think that's silly. The company itself, I would hope, like if physically it's taken the change, you know, like you could see the change. It's just, for me, I believe that people can grow up. I believe that people can mature. Yes, even people like those channels. I believe that they can grow up. Will they? Well, that's on them. Talk to me in 10 years. And hopefully it doesn't take that long. But literally, that's my main problems with the whole Comicsgate community is the maturity level. Just, I can't get behind that level of immaturity. Go Skittle. Where will 2 and 1 go after Fantastic Four comes back? Will it be a way to utilize the Thing? Will it be somewhat tie into the main series, or will it utilize lesser-known heroes? Well, I can tell you from a conversation that I had a year ago with Chip Zdarsky, right before he actually, when he was only on issue 4 or 6, I forget. Go and check out my reviews for Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man. Review number for issue number 4 or 5 or 6. One of them actually has Chip Zdarsky in the beginning saying, "I'm Chip Zdarsky and you're watching Comic Book University." Dude is like the greatest guy in the planet. You know what I'm saying? Very cool guy. But anyway, I talked to him. He showed me a bunch of things on his phone and everything like that. The art designs for what we were going to see pretty soon from the Marvel 2 in 1. It was from him I heard it first, that we were like directly from the source that he was going to be doing Marvel 2 in 1. And I asked him, I was like, is this going to be mostly just the Thing or the Thing and the Human Torch? He says for a good chunk of the beginning, it's going to be the Thing and the Human Torch. But pretty soon, it's going to be the Thing and somebody else, just like the original Marvel 2 in 1. And I just said, dude, I am so in love right now. That is awesome. Because that was one of my favorite comic books ever, was the Marvel 2 in 1 with the Thing. A lot of people don't realize how popular the Thing was back then, man. Back then, the Thing was bigger than Wolverine. Dude, I crap you not. You know what I'm saying? The Thing and Spider-Man were like the 2 biggest properties that Marvel Comics had. That is no exaggeration at all. So I also asked Chip, if you had the chance to write one comic book, what would it be? There was no hesitation, no thought. He didn't shift his eyes, nothing. He said Fantastic Four. I was like, dude, are you serious? Like that? How old are you, man? And just like, he was serious. He's like, and that wasn't meant as an insult towards him. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me right now? He loves the Fantastic Four more than any other property. And the only reason why he wasn't asked to write it as opposed to Dan Slott is because Dan Slott has a lot of seniority on him, and he already wrote like the first 20 or more issues of the Fantastic Four. So the issues were already done. He's just getting paid for them now. when he was just writing them for free before. And he's just like, I got a whole bunch of issues, scripts that I wrote for the Fantastic Four. Like, wait, really? Because we're thinking about bringing it back. He's like, really? Here you go. And they're like, oh, you're hired. So, like, Chip's not, I'm sure that I didn't ask Chip, I didn't follow up with Chip about it. I'm sure he's not mad about it because he's just such a freaking laid back guy. Forget about it. But yeah, dude, if anybody were to take that comic book after Dan Slott, I really hope it's Chip. But I did ask Chip afterwards, will you still continue writing? He's like, oh, absolutely. We're actually going to be working together on this stuff a lot. So they're going to be doing a lot of collaboration. And Slott already collaborated with him when Slott was still doing Amazing Spider-Man. So they do work very well together. You know what I'm saying? Slott took into account the fact that J. Jonah Jameson now knows that Spider-Man's secret identity is Peter Parker. So all of that was definitely taken into account. So they definitely did work together a lot in that regard. They collaborated a lot. So yeah, they're definitely going to collaborate on Fantastic Four also, and I can't wait to see that. Because that's exactly what happened back in the day in the 2-in-1 comic book. It did collaborate with other comics, especially Fantastic Four. Okay, with the Fox characters coming to, Ghost Skill says, with the Fox characters coming to the MCU, which comic book storyline are you most excited to see in the MCU and the Fox characters? I so want to see the Illuminati. You know what? I think you really just hit the nail on the head, because as I'm reading that, I'm trying to think, which one would I like to see? And yeah, I'm going to go with your answer, the Illuminati, because they're pretty much going to have everybody. They're going to have everybody and everything that they need to make that Illuminati. At the same time, I got to say, I can't wait to see Galactus coming and the Silver Surfer and all that stuff. I can't wait to see that happen. Forget about it, dude. That's going to be so amazing. There will not be a big purple fart cloud. It's not going to happen. Nope. There will be no Rise of the Silver Surfer. Hey, man, I say bring back Lawrence Fishburne to do the voice, because that was an awesome voice. But, man, it's going to be so spectacular. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that's going to be amazing. Let's see here. Swan, yeah, it's crazy that an environment where people can't grow or learn, where mistakes are treated like capital crimes. Exactly. Yeah, we live in a heck of a society right now where in our minds, like, this is going to sound really weird, but in the prison system, what is it? You get solitary for doing this. You get whatever. You get your yard time taken away for that. You lose this. You lose that. All these different privileges for this, that, and the other thing. If you do this crime, the judge sentences you to this. If you do this crime, you get sentenced to that. You can even be sentenced to death under certain circumstances. What is the crime that you commit that you're sentenced to rape? That's my question. Even raping someone doesn't get you sentenced to rape. You know what I'm saying? So think about that. When we talk about someone go to jail, it's in our culture that you're going to go to jail and you're going to have a boyfriend named Bubba. First off, what's all the hate on people named Bubba? Bubba Ray Dudley is a really cool character in the WWE. I'm just saying. But more than that, yeah, like, what is the matter with our brains? That's the kind of thing that we want to happen to people, that we want people to just suffer like that. We need a rehabilitation sort of mentality, because these people will eventually come out of prison. And we don't want to just wait for them to do something heinous again so that we can just send them back in. You know what I'm saying? We would like people to be rehabilitated. At least that's what I want. Yeah, just, ugh. I don't know where we go sometimes in our heads. Steve Grant, it will be like Spectacular Spider-Man was to Amazing Spider-Man. I'm forgetting where that's coming from, but yeah. You know what's funny? Spectacular Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man? Web of Spider-Man was actually my favorite storyline for the longest time. I loved that comic book more than any of them. And Sabretooth appeared multiple times in Spectacular Spider-Man. And of course, the mother of all titles was Amazing Spider-Man. But I loved the Web of Spider-Man, dude. They had such great story arcs in there. Tomb of Comics, what do you think is the best cover of the year so far, or some on the running? That, you know what? You just gave me a great idea for, and people have been talking about that. What's the best cover? Maybe I'll do like a once a month thing. Best cover of the month. Best comic book cover of the month. Best comic book cover per month. That is an idea for a video that I can shoot every month. How about that? Lobo is coming to Krypton for season 2. You know what? I'll believe it when I see it, because they also said that Hawkwoman was coming to the that show Krypton, and I didn't see Hawkwoman. I made a video and everything. I rushed to put out the video, and I wanted to give a lot more love to that video, but I just needed to put it out because I thought people were gonna see Hawkwoman and just all of a sudden, oh my God, who is this character? So I was like, boom, here you go. I'm taking my time with Hawkman because, dude, one of my absolute all-time favorite. My second favorite character in all of comic books. Done. Captain America's my first. Sorry. So, what do we got here? There's unfortunately a petition to make Joker gay, and apparently it's gaining steam. Go Skittle. I don't... You know, this is the first time I'm hearing about that, and I don't know one way from the other. Hey, Rory, what's going on, dude? I don't know the context of that, but yeah, Steve Grant down here is also saying things like Joker is bisexual, I think. So yeah, that was actually a big argument when The Killing Joke came out, because people were like when that comic book came out, there was a rape culture in comic books where a lot of characters were being raped. All right, mostly women, and in this case, a lot of us, myself too, when I was reading it, I was like, I have the feeling that Joker raped Barbara Gordon, like while she was paralyzed, because that's, and still bleeding and all that stuff, because that's really messed up. Because that just sounds like the kind of thing that Joker would do to mess with somebody, you know? And I know there were things said that said otherwise, but there's always people trying to cover their butts, whatever. And stories are subjective. We're all going to interpret the stories the way that we're going to interpret them. Heck, it took Grant Morrison saying to Kevin Smith that the Joker actually got murdered by that Alan Moore's original idea was that Batman killed the Joker in the end of that. And all of us, myself included, were like, what? Our heads just flip, come back down. It's like, are you kidding me? What? And then we go back and read it. It's like, oh my God, I could see it now. Yeah, like there wasn't a crack sound, but oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like it just... Yeah, and Grant Morrison and Alan Moore do know each other. So that sounds very reasonable. There are always things that we don't know until all of a sudden it comes out. So it is what it is, you know? So maybe he did, you know, rape her, maybe he did. And a lot of times, like I studied sociology and I did study psychology for a semester. But I did get an associate's degree in sociology. And what do you call it? I do know that, unfortunately, this is ridiculous. I have to talk about this on the channel, but also in the martial arts, I taught women's self-defense for 18 months. And it did help to know this, that rape, unfortunately, isn't always about lust. It's about power. It's about control. That's why sometimes old women, it'll happen to old women or guys, and the other guys aren't. And people in prison, if you saw Luke Cage season 2, you know what I'm saying? It's a messed up thing. It really is. Anyhow, to make him gay or bisexual, I don't know the intent behind it. Is it people looking for representation? In which case, I say, go make your own damn character, if that's the case. You know? But regardless, I'd rather see... If they're going to do it, I want it to be done in a way that it's understood. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the intent is just for the sake of this story, cool. Because I'm totally down with the idea that he's gay or bisexual or even fully gay, and that's the reason why he loves Batman so much, why he's so addicted to Batman. You know, that could very well be a thing. Maybe it's not a gay thing. Maybe it's an androgynous thing. I don't know. I don't care. But I know that dynamic it's intoxicating to see the level of stalker mentality that Joker has for freaking Batman. You know what I'm saying? For the longest time, that's such a driving force. So you want to explore why he has this infatuation. I'm down. I'm down for hearing, multiple people's different versions and for reading it or watching on the big screen, whatever. I'm totally down for it. But if the motive behind it is just for representation, there are plenty of characters being made right now that represent them, and you can have good guys, bad guys, whatever you want. We need more bad guys being made, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? What's up with Red Cloud over in Superman right now? Wow, that just came out of nowhere. So yeah, it is what it is. What are your thoughts on the Hellboy reboot? Could there be a Hellboy cinematic universe based on all those comics? Well, Looney Tune 22, yes, there could be. And I didn't read enough of BPRD to really get it, but yeah, I know that there was enough there that they could. The thing is, I feel that would be better, something better for the small screen. I would rather see that on an Amazon or a Netflix or Hulu or whatever series. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm really excited for is what they're planning on doing with Conan. Jeff Bezos, richest man in the world, richest man in the history of creation. This son of a gun. He says, I want Conan because I want Amazon Prime to have an alternative to Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. And oh, they got it now. Conan is going to be the way to go. And they're starting off with the story, The Frost Giant's Daughter, which is hailed as the worst of all of the Conan stories. There are not a lot of bad Conan stories out there, but that's considered the worst of them. That being the case, if they're starting off with the worst and they make it good, woo, that could be really amazing. So I am very excited to see a Conan universe being started on a cinematic, not a cinematic, episodic level. Dude, I am so in. Just take my money. Love to see that. Gotham Comics multiple covers should be banned. 2 max per issue. Start the revolution. I completely agree. Certain number ones I can see having up to 5, I guess. Maybe. Depends on, are they being commissioned or is it just somebody saying, hey, I'd really like to do this. Will you pay me for it? Then we're cool. Tomb. Oh, you guys talking about, I like Mantis and Milton. Matina. Oh. The new Wi-Fi is slow as hell, Bill. Oh, hey, Red Black Cane. It's about time you got here. Dude, I'm sorry, man. Are you able to plug into it somehow, or are you just on your phone? Because then that would... Yeah, that stinks. That really stinks. I'm sorry, dude. Not into sports either. Comics Mix... I love the name, Comics Mis-Explained. Actually, also, I believe Comics Mis-Explained is the guy you do, like, once a week, you do something on YouTube also, don't you? You do, you'll take, like, the comics that happen in the week and you'll treat them as a news report, but you'll treat them all wrong. You're like in satire, right? Am I wrong? I think that's what you do. Mark Guerrero, Aquaman has to be the most comic booky looking comic book adaptation since Batman 66. That's great. I thought you were going to trim your beard. Whoa, man. I said I was thinking about it. All right? Calm yourself now. Learn the rules of football from an app game. Yeah, you know what? I should have learned from playing, like, Madden. I never played Madden. But, yeah, all the people... And I grew up with Techno Bowl. All right? Dude, I'm old, man. I remember when the Sega Entertainment System first came out, and then later the Nintendo Entertainment System came out. I remember all those. I had Pong when I was a kid. I had an Atari 2600. All right, whatever. There's a reason why we still went outside and played like in the sun, because those games stunk. All right, I had E.T. I actually liked E.T. and I beat it many times. Totally awesome game. Anyway, dude. I've got a miniature arcade version of Pac-Man right here, all right? My nerd cred is solid. So, Dick Fillmore, I'm having trouble waiting for Infinity War Blu-ray. Laugh Out Loud digital available right now. Oh yeah, you only have to wait an extra week, is it? Yeah, they keep trying to push that digital. Just remember, Dick, just remember something that's really important. If you have it on digital, you don't actually own the property. You know what I'm saying? If you have it on DVD or Blu-ray, you own it. That's really important. That's something that a lot of people really overlook. You don't own it if it's on digital. Dick Fillmore, I'm having... Oh, just read that. Two Comics. Hey, Professor, what book will win or is in the running for cover of the year, in your opinion? Oh, just did that. Oh, Batgirl 23, Middleton variant. Oh, dude, I got to look at variants, too. Let's put Batgirl. Number 23, Middleton. Okay. I think Book of Tar Baby as a kid, I thought he was cool. Yeah. Yeah, but we were kids and things like that were acceptable. Apu was acceptable in The Simpsons back at the time. You know what I'm saying? And today, he's not considered acceptable. I'm okay with the idea of the progressive mentality. But looking back and insulting people for the time and place they were in, hindsight's always 20/20, man. And I don't need some stupid kid looking back at, my past and saying, you were a horrible, wretched human being back in the day. No. Thought processes were different. Norms were different back then. Not just what was acceptable, but what was tolerable. They were all different back then. The way that we looked at things. Satire back then was very different back then. That's the age that I grew up in. Who's a horrible, despicable, wretched human being are the people who look back in hindsight who are young and don't have any real life experiences and insult the people who are older. That's messed up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unless you're talking about, like, if somebody was in the Ku Klux Klan, okay, that was not a part of the norm back then, but you have to be intelligent when you look back in time. You know what I'm saying? Just, P.A. Stewart, going back to last week's podcast from the conversation with Mr. Cates, wouldn't guess he's the madman who writes Venom and Inhumans and Cosmic Ghost Rider. I know, right? He's such a laid-back guy. He's like, why are you killing all these people? Well, dude, I'm down with the devil. I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, dude, just wait till I start writing comics. Oh, Tommy asked earlier, how come I'm not writing comics? I have short-term goals. You know what I'm saying? First goal, finish my effing website. I just want to finish the stupid website. I don't even know what I'm going to do with the stupid website. I just want to have the website up. So this way, if for some reason YouTube ever crashes, then I've got a place that people could go to. And then I could direct them to whatever other social media platform I'm going to be doing. I want a hub, and I want my webpage to be my hub. It's something that I technically own, although not really. Anyway, renting. But my next goal after the website is to create my role-playing game, because I'm really excited about doing that. And then I want to start, putting out some comic books. And hey, if I can get hired by Marvel to do a Triton comic book and whatever other, comics they want to hire me for, and maybe I would love to do something with DC also, you know what I'm saying? But I think at first, yeah, I really grew up with more Marvel than DC when I was growing up. So I think I'd really just rather go crazy with some of the smaller characters in Marvel first, and then maybe do something in DC. Maybe do something in DC also. I don't know. We'll see. And that day may never happen. Realistically, that's an if. You know what I'm saying? My goal is finish the website, then do a role-playing game, then start putting out my own comic books, just for the sake of, Yeah. Gunn can change, Disney can change, all the world can change. Adrian! And yeah, Dick Fillmore, of course, also knows that's from Rocky. That's actually from Rocky 4. I don't care what anybody says. Great. Comics Mix explained up there. He's like, Rocky 4 reference. Yes, and best soundtrack on any movie ever. Fight me. Even if you don't like the movie, nobody's disrespecting that soundtrack who's heard it. Gotham Collectibles. I don't think directors make a difference in Marvel movies. They're all good and all look the same. Disney calls the shots at the end of the day, just a theory. You're not wrong. You're really not wrong on that. James Gunn, I think, though, is probably the only exception on there, and not even a huge exception, just a little exception. I think that Disney's gotten to the point where, like, here's what we want you to do. Now we trust you with pretty much everything else. Just, we'll check up on you from time to time. I think they give a whole lot more creative control from the conversations that I see on Twitter and so on and so forth on the internet. I think they give them a lot more leeway than the other guys, but it is what it is. I do know that, when Marvel is doing their own thing and the director doesn't have a whole lot to say, what's the point of having a director then? Okay, I'm going to go down a little bit more. Boom. Yes, I was right. Comics Misexplained does all that stuff. Cool. They do take forever to make, right? Also, guys, if anybody is here from the Jim Comics website, YouTube page, I did actually reach out to him, but he doesn't have an email that I can contact him with. I do. Go to the front of my page and you'll see it. You know what I'm saying? The front of my YouTube page. You'll see it up there. A bunch of people contact me on my Gmail account all the time. So by all means, you know what I'm saying? But like, I tried to reach out to him the best that I could. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, I would like, especially like he had a hard time. Apparently, I watched the first 5 minutes. Somebody recommended watch at least the first 5 minutes of his recent video. And again, I don't like to watch other people's videos. I'll watch the first couple just to see, like, are they good people? That's my deciding factor if I'm going to watch somebody. But I did watch some of, like, the first 5 minutes of that video, the recent one that went up, like, what, two days ago, I think it was, and he was talking about how people on some other webpage lambasted him and stuff, so he's probably feeling really depressed right now, and that sucks. It sucks when you start getting bigger. It really does. It really sucks because people want to start attacking you and stuff, and they're immature little, they're morons. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? He's allowed to say whatever he wants to say, though. He went and said, first appearance of s.h.i.e.l.d, blah, 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 blah. It was in the dollar bin before, and it's not now. Listen, let me tell you something. That's how capitalism works. Welcome to America. Even though I'm in Canada, okay? Very capitalistic here, too. Just social services. Dude, the way that it works is you get some kind of a tip. Some way, somehow, you got your ear down to the railroad tracks. There's a Stand By Me reference there. But you got the, you got your ear, against the wind or pressed up against the wall, and you hear something, and then you're either smart enough to go with it or you're not. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not. That is what it is. So the first appearance of s.h.i.e.l.d. was a thing for a long time, man. For a long time. If nobody was interested in getting it before and all of a sudden they are now, cool. But on top of that, it's going to blow over. Hey, man, if you've got a copy of Doctor Strange, issue number 44, the first appearance of, not the first mention, but the first appearance of s.h.i.e.l.d., consider selling it. Put it up for like $40, $50, $80, whatever. Because, yes, somehow, like, that's one of the big things that came out of my interview last week with Donny Cates, that he's going to be doing stuff with s.h.i.e.l.d. Jim Comics had a very capitalistic idea, a very intelligent capitalistic idea, and said, okay, first appearance of s.h.i.e.l.d. is going to be a big deal all of a sudden. So he jumped ahead of the market very brilliantly and grabbed a couple. He said he grabbed like 2 issues. I don't care if he grabbed them all. It's his right. He was smart enough to pay attention. He was watching Comic Book University. He was subscribed to Donny Cates' Twitter thing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He got it. Nobody else did, or not as many people did. You snooze, you lose. Welcome to capitalism, brah. And you know what the funny thing is? Eventually this whole s.h.i.e.l.d. thing will die down, and that comic book will end up back in the dollar bin again. I promise you. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the market. That's the way it works. You want to play the stock market, don't get upset. Don't start catching feelings. That's the way it works. That's ridiculous that people went and attacked Jim Comics. At the same time, dude, stiffen up and just wave that middle finger, dude. The old Italian salute. screw them. You know what I'm saying? Just square that jaw and ignore it. Steve Grant, professor should be writing Eternals. Ooh. I don't want to get too cosmic. Jim Zub might help you maybe in comics. You know what? He's such a nice guy. I'll bet you he would too. When I'm actually ready to start doing that, though, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but his Patreon, it's only like $3 a month or something like that. And you get access to all of the scripts that he does. So you get to see the pitches, like how to pitch to Marvel, how to write scripts for Marvel, how to submit the everything that's involved for a writer to Marvel. And I think also for an artist, because he actually draws also. The dude gives you a lot for a lousy $3. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, you want to learn how to do all this stuff for Marvel? Bing! He's got a Patreon. Go hook up the Zub. Marvel would make... Dick Fillmore. Marvel would make you do a story of mine they stole 20 years ago. Yeah. I titled the comic Cease and Desist. Billy, I need to go. Check back later. All right, Red Black Cane. Love you, brother. Hearts on Fire. Yes, that was a really good... Dude, they were all good, Dick. They were all good. Hearts on Fire. Yes, really good. Return of Adult Cyclops. Yes, Ed Brisson is going to be writing that. Oh my God, I would love to talk to Ed Brisson. There's two things I want out of Ed Brisson. I want to talk to him. I want to talk to him on the live on the freaking podcast, and I want him to write Sabretooth. And right now, I'm not sure which one I want more. I'm really at that level. Like, talking to him would be really good for the channel. But man, him writing Sabretooth would be epic. What do you call? Okay, Mr. X-Men. I love America. I love America too. It's the politicians who suck. Def Rocker, Power Rangers V, G-Force. Wolf Warner. Hey, what's going on, Wolf Warner? You're the guy who I responded to first over on the Jim Comics thing. I was like, yeah, that could happen. Like, he responded to you, so I responded there. I didn't want it to be like a big deal where I'm on there like soliciting Jim Comics. Hey, man, I would love to be in a thing. We could do it on my channel. So he can come over to my channel. I got more subs than him. You know what I'm saying? He can come over and do it on my channel if he wants and be like, hey, dude, what's up? But, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would absolutely do something like that. But yeah, it was actually your thing that I responded to first, Wolf. How would you make, and every time I see you and Sean Sedrai, I start thinking to myself, dude, I got to start doing my my thing for, what do you call it? For Moon Girl, because I know. Okay, how would you make Venom and Spider-Man meet? They had to at some point. How would I make them meet? I would let Donny Cates do his thing, dude. Honestly, but as far as making Spider-Man and Venom meet, like, they already met. I don't understand the question, really. Oh, by the way, what's up, Jeffrey Lane? At university, what do you think... What if they do the opposite of how Spider-Man gets the symbiote? So, like, Venom gets the symbiote first and then comes to Spider-Man? I don't know. What did they just do recently? It was in issue number 800 of Amazing Spider-Man where he got the symbiote again. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard for me to really understand the question, but Swan, it would be nice to see old school Sabretooth when he was frightening. Exactly. When just Sabretooth alone was a threat to all of the X-Men. Oh God, that was amazing. Like, just, wow. Okay, so what do we got? What's this? Oh, hey, thanks everybody for sharing my Knowing Flame. What's going on, Knowing Flame? Is Knowing Flame on here now? Yeah, Knowing Flame shared my tweet. Comics Tweets shared my tweet. And RK shared my tweet. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's see what the Eye of Agamotto has sent. Right away, we're talking about Venom. Here we go, guys. Let me pop this sucker open so I know. Okay, so I see what you guys are seeing. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. That's just freaky, man. Oh my God, that is freaky. Yes, the Fantastic Four stuff. Doomsday Clock 8. Yeah, hopefully we figure out what the heck this cat thing is. Like, is it an alien? It's one of the things that he was talking about. What? What am I looking at here? Iron Man 6, The Return of Arsenal. Oh, wow. So Green Arrow crossover? I'm joking. So Arsenal's coming back to Iron Man. Oops, sorry. I have to get rid of this. The reason why Patrick Stewart was on there is because it was just announced a couple hours ago. Guess what, guys? Patrick Stewart is coming back to do Star Trek Next Generation. Yeah, I know. He's 78 years old. I'm down with it. Dude's still awesome. He's going to come back and renew his role as Jean-Luc Picard. I don't know what the series is going to be called or anything like that, but he's coming back to do that. And that's freaking awesome. Oh, yeah, Go Skittle, that is Ozymandias' Lynx. We're going to find out more about the character, about the creature, though, apparently. But, yeah, he's coming back and he's going to be doing something. And it's going to be on CBS All Access. Oh, wow, that's all that Sean sent me? Oh, well, sorry, Sean. I remembered without you actually screaming at me. And as much as you can scream at me on the internet. And you're not even here, man. He's not here because he had something else to do. He told me in advance, like, hey, sorry I can't be here, but here's some stuff. I got you, brother. I got you. It's not the podcast without the eye of Ogamoto. X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 213 for Great Sabretooth story against British Psylocke. Exactly. That's the story that I was actually referencing. Well, the first of the two stories that I was actually referencing. The story I was referencing was based off of that story. That's how she had that fear. But at this point, she was, super ninja. Oh my God! Just last Monday, the new wave of the Marvel Legends figures came out. Oh, guys, look at my Hulk. Look at my Hulk. I'm almost finished with my Gladiator Hulk. I just need the head. He's headless. He's the headless, but I got all the pieces except for the Hulk's head and the helmet, obviously. And then, of course, I'm waiting in the mail. It's coming to my P.O. box. The Abomination. I'm just waiting for the right arm to come in. And then I will be using these characters in my Marvel Superheroes role-playing game system explanation. Ooh, and I just have the arms for Sasquatch to wait for. And that's Domino and Deathlock. And I know I'm going to get Domino. Just wondering if there's a way I can avoid getting Deathlock. Probably not. Because Deathlock is cool, but he's not like uber super cool. I'd rather get him on sale. But it is what it is. Oh, I did, however, finish my Lizard. I think I showed you guys last week. But yeah, I finished my Lizard. So that Build-A-Figure is completely finished. Anyway, love my toys. I don't care what anybody says. Loves me my toys. But anyway, yeah, the Psylocke is going to be just came out recently in the latest wave, and there's a black hair variant and a purple hair variant. Got to get my hands on that purple hair variant because that's just going to be awesome. She's got the telekinetic katana and she's got the telekinetic, dagger, of course. But I'm looking so forward to getting my hands on that one. Also, they got a Storm with the Mohawk, which looks a lot like Bloodstorm. So, very interested in getting my hands on that. I've actually got a Storm figure up here from the Diamond Select. There it is. She's right on top of Cable. What do you call it? Yeah, my wife was like, so can I have that back? Because I originally bought that for her. And I was like, no, you gave that to me. That's not the way it works. And she's like, oh, okay, fine. I was like, but if I do get my hands on this new Storm, then you can have this one. Fine. So there's that. We have an arrangement. Wolf Warner, Weapon H continues to rock. Oh, yeah. It is so slept on. I would love for him to get a run on Immortal Hulk. Yikes. Let's save that for a little while. Let's let them both establish themselves. You know what I'm saying? But on top of that, because I want to see how Hulk is going to trounce Weapon H. Because he's got to win. He's got to win. Am I right? You know what I'm saying? Hulk is the strongest one there is. Come on. So I am really looking forward to that. But and of course the sarcastic comments of what is it? Imitation is a serious form of flattery, except actually flattening someone. Boom! Just stuff like that. I can't wait to see stuff like that. Anyway, yes, it is slept on. And I'm mostly okay with that. As long as the sales are enough that it keeps coming out, I'm okay with that. Looney Tune 22. Do you think American comics can learn some stuff from Japanese manga in terms of telling more complete stories that are accessible? Yes, 100%. The coolest thing about manga, besides the fact that all the characters look like each other, for the most part, everybody can look like each other. You know what I'm saying? It's always a funny thing when somebody says, back in the day, Ghost in the Shell, it was actually a Japanese character. It was a cyborg. Yeah, but it's a Japanese cyborg then, okay? Whatever. It's supposed to look like a Japanese person. No, it's not. It was made by a Japanese person. Can Japanese people only make Japanese people? Because when white people look at manga, they see themselves. When Asian people look at manga, they see themselves. That's one of the great things about the manga art style. It's really amazing like that, you know? And what happens? So when they say things like, Scarlett Johansson doing this stuff, it's ridiculous. Go back to the kiddie table, man. All right, finish your cranberry sauce. Just not interested in the immaturity and the people who talk without actually thinking first. Too many people, man, just so quick to type or talk. But yeah, that's the main thing I love from manga and anime. But also, yeah, telling a complete story, telling a story where you literally get so much in there. Like there's conversations in between fights. There's story in between fights. You know, the fights are mostly just in case people start to, nod off for a second. It's like, there's people who aren't into the story enough, It's so funny. I just saw a meme recently where Krillin from Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z grabs the seventh, all of the Dragon Balls and goes to the Great Dragon. It's like, my wish is that you make me cool. He just looks down and is like, Krillin, you're a loyal friend. You're a good husband. And you're a great this, that, and the other thing. You're all these different things. You are cool. It's like, yeah, man. If you only pay attention to the fights, you think he's a weakling because Krillin's always being killed, right? He's always getting flattened. But he's a really cool person. But you'd have to actually read the stories to know that, right? Yeah, that's a fantastic point, Looney Tune 22. Suan, yes, when Sabretooth would play games with you as if you were a snack and he was sated, but messed with you anyway. Yeah, exactly. That, you know what? Could not describe that better. That would be a good Edge of Comics conversation. Just saying. Jeffrey Lane, like when the Venom symbiote leaves Eddie for Spider-Man, and after being betrayed by Spider-Man and returns to the angry Eddie Brock going through withdrawal and living in New York, losing his job. Yeah, they really both fed off of each other's negative emotions, right? I don't know. So are you saying for the movie then? I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard one, Like if it depends on what the medium is. It depends on what the medium. Because if you're going to be talking about the larger movie audience, you've really got to dumb it down. Because you're only talking about 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. How long are movies really? Meanwhile, you and me, we can read a multi-arc story. Like, how long are some of these story arcs? You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, they try to relegate them to 6. There was no jurisdiction on story arcs back in the day. Tony Isabella is still to this day a bit salty over DC Comics taking what he had as a 5-year story arc for the Shadow War of Hawkman and relegating it down to 10, 14, 15, 16, I think 17 issues total. Like, that's just sad. That's not even a year and a half. And just spread. And he was infuriated. It's like, this was an amazing arc, and he just crapped all over it. And yeah, I can't blame him for that. Sometimes people drop the ball, man. Possible animated series. Ooh, Raven, great idea. Oh, that's something else that was in the news. Apparently Marvel or Disney, one of the two, whichever one, was the ultimate decider in, oh, for crying out loud, I know his name, but the Gambino, I can't remember his stage name now. Anyway, there was that Deadpool TV animated series that was supposed to come out, and FX was still okay with putting it out, but Marvel is the one who apparently backed out of it, is what it is. We know that this guy... Oh, for crying out loud, how do I not remember his name? I'm going to turn off this podcast. I'm going to scream it out loud. His name is such and such, because I can't remember right now. But anyway, yeah, he does get political. And make no mistake, I have no problem with his politics. I'm totally down with his politics, his art style, all that stuff. I love what he does. Childish Gambino. There, at least I got the stage name down. But, yeah, I love the stuff that he does. But it is in Marvel's prerogative to sit down, or Disney's, both, whatever, prerogative to sit back and say, you know what? I'm sorry, man, but you actually really do have an agenda that you're trying to push forward, and this isn't your platform. It's just not. This is your platform to express your creativity, but not your politics, not like this. So, and I know that he's going to say, no, there were no politics in it, but maybe. It is what it is. It is what it is. Whatever it is, I think it was more Disney than Marvel, but whatever it is, somebody decided to pull a plug on it. It is what it is, man. It sucks. It probably would have been great seeing it. Who knows? We'll find out. Hell yeah for Picard. Losing his job as the Bugle and going to seek revenge. That's all you got. That's all that there was, man. That was the best story that there was. That was just so beautiful. And a lot like Looney Tunes was saying, that was well thought out and it took a long time. It wasn't just a quick little thing, right? So, aggressively relaxing. Did you read the new Cloak and Dagger? Marvel has a Scarecrow character. Actually, Marvel had that Scarecrow character for a long time. I really like using him in role-playing games. When I was doing the Marvel Superheroes Advanced Role-Playing System, and I was running games every Monday over a Nerderkey last year and the year before, I had an arc with the Scarecrow, and it freaked them out. They were like, dude, are you kidding me? Scarecrow's a great character. Probably his best was when he was going up against Ghost Rider, because he was just twisted enough, you know? Yeah, their version of Scarecrow is different. The last time I saw him was in the Fear Him. It was Captain America Sam Wilson, Fear Him. I think that was only digital. I remember reading it digital. It was great because you got to see all the scenes blend in with each other and whatnot. I think that was actually the first digital comic that I ever bought. That was great. It was like a 3-issue limited series. Anyway, yeah, he's been around for a while. But yes, I do actually already have the review. Everything is done, edited and everything. It's rendered. It's done. It goes up tomorrow. Sunday is when I'm going to put up the 2 digital comics that are out. So, the 2 Marvel digital comics. So, Spidey School's Out, issue number 5 of 6. And Cloak and Dagger, issue number, I believe that's 3 of 6. And that one's by Hopeless. Yes, I'm going to be putting that out tomorrow. And then I got, like, I think only 2 indies to come out on Monday. And then I think I'm going to do Tempest. 10 Things About Tempest. Aquaman's former partner, his former sidekick, Aqualad. So Tempest. 10 Things About Tempest on Tuesday. That's what I'm planning on. I don't have anything written down for that. Nothing. I have nothing done for that yet. So that's just going to be something I'm going to be working on over the next couple of days. I need to slow down a little bit. I've been working a lot of overtime, like not on my regular job. I'm working regular on my job, but I've been doing a lot of overtime for Comic Book University. And I'm afraid it's going to start affecting my family life and everything. So I need to just take a step back. You know what I'm saying? I need to take a step back. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to affect things coming out because I already have a small backlog of videos that can go out. But, yeah, I'm going to need to take a step back. Also, I'm really waiting to put out my all of this good stuff here. Let's see if I can do this without a glare. Marvel Superheroes role-playing game, the Books of Magic stuff here, the Realms of Magic. It's a very intricate system, and I really want to just put out a whole bunch of videos for that. And I can make a heck of a backlog for this. I could probably put out 8 or more videos just of this alone. So that's like, oh, backlog, boom, done. I could just, because that's a very hard video to make, especially mentally, because I know that I only get like 50 views on average for those. That's not a big view thing, but it's just, I love the game. and I love putting out so that people can play this game that only existed from 1984 to 1992. You know what I'm saying? But I love the game, and I would love to see more people. You can get the game for free online. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Anyway, it's a role-playing game with dice, pen, and paper. Not a video game. Sorry, guys. Did you see the Japanese Venom poster? It's better than the one that's out now. I did. It is actually pretty cool. I like it. Typo seeking revenge against Spider-Man. Oh no, I understand what you were saying. Yeah, I'm like, dude, I'm an English teacher, but I'm not pulling out my. Where is it? Where's my red pen? Here we go. I'm not pulling out my red pen on you, dude. Like, you're good. You're good. Bang. Wow, that Hulk is hot. Oh, you like that one, right? Yeah, there's the one I got up here, which is just a big, regular purple pants Hulk. He's awesome. But my Gladiator Hulk. Woof. And you know what? In order to get that head, I've got to buy the Gladiator Thor. And I'm not a huge fan of the idea of having to do that, but it is what it is. See, I've got regular, shoot, he's down here somewhere. I know I just had him down here. I've got the regular God of Thunder Thor. Jeez, now my stuff's going to go all over the place. Okay, get back up there. My regular God of Thunder Thor. Here's my Malekith. Love my Malekith. You know what I'm saying? But I've got my God of Thunder Thor with me on there. I've got my Lady Jane Foster Thor up there, which I love. And I've got this Thor, which, you know, he's got Jarlborn on the back. But I was really hoping that they would have made him with the other arm. You know what I'm saying? The metal, the Uru arm, the black Uru arm. That would have been awesome. But he's got the torn cape and everything like that. And I think this is the figure that the body for that Thor came with. And I was hoping to just be able to buy the head and helmet of of Hulk by himself. But I really doubt that's going to happen. I really doubt I'm going to be able to find that somewhere where I can just buy that. So whatever, I'll just buy the regular Gladiator Thor, and I'll get the Gladiator Hulk head and helmet. This thing will be complete, and then like, it's huge, right? Look at the size of it compared to the regular figures. Like, he's effing huge, man. It doesn't even have his head on. He's still a head above everybody else. But yeah, I'll have the head and the helmet for that. And I'll have the Gladiator Thor, which is fine. I'm really upset because they also sell a different version of the Gladiator Thor with Valkyrie. And they don't sell Valkyrie as one of the parts. They got two different Thor characters. And, you know, in the regular bin, it's like, can you please put Valkyrie in one of these? But no, they don't. They put her with another Thor, which you're already going to get anyway. So obviously I'm not getting Valkyrie, which really bites. Like, that really bugs me. I would love to have that version of Valkyrie. She's awesome. Like I said, I'm watching them. As soon as I hang up here, I'm going back out there to start watching this. The wife's coming out the bedroom. We're going to watch the rest of Thor Ragnarok again. Her for the second time, me for the third. I need to calm down. Yes, I will still read comic books or watch comic book movies for the sake of. Oh, no, you know what? I've got a third indie comic. Somebody else contacted me about a Kickstarter being put out, and they kind of made fun of Jersey a little bit, which is a little bit insulting to me because I'm from Jersey. But the only place in the Union where we don't pump our own gas. But I know how to pump gas. I worked at a gas station, for crying out loud. I'm Italian. Anyway, yeah, whatever. Okay, so let's finish. Are you going to build a custom Cull Obsidian? No, Ghost Skittle. I still have the arm and the leg for them because I got Malekith, who you saw, and I've got, oh no, I just dropped the Ebony Blade. There it is. Because I got the Black Knight. He came with one of them. So, yeah, Dane Whitman, the Black Knight. Oh, come on, hold the freaking sword, dude. Anyway, yeah. Got Dane Whitman, the Black Knight. Love this character. Freaking beautiful, beautiful, beautiful character. I don't care about anything. Like, I love this character. You know what I'm saying? Great character in the Avengers that this guy hung out. Like, at least Hawkeye had his arrows who could shoot from a distance. This guy's got to get right up in your face with a sword. A freaking sword to fight you. But I've got these two pieces for Cull Obsidian, plus the hammer. So I got the right arm and the right leg of Cull Obsidian. If I come across the other pieces, yeah, I guess I'll collect it, but it's not the biggest thing in the world for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not the most important thing in the world for me. And I'd rather just use them as pieces to trade for other pieces. But it is what it is. I wish that we could do something at Gotham Central. Maybe I'll go and ask Carlos, if we could do that. Just do like a trade system there. Just like give Carlos $1 to hold the pieces there, and then just start doing trades with people. That would be great. Let's see. Deathlock is awesome as on Agents of S.h.i.e.l.d. show. You know what? He's that's the best I've ever seen Deathlock. Yeah, like Deathlock. I don't know. I feel like they're just not doing a lot with him. They should almost make Deathlocks versus give me a red Nuke against Nuke. All the nukes. Jeffrey Lane, how would you bring the X-Men into the MCU? I would like for McAvoy to stay. You know what? That's a possibility. Fassbender staying too would probably be really good, but they're going to be asking a lot more money now because Marvel's got the money, So I feel like they're not going to be keeping them. They may do like a reunion thing one time as an after credits scene, or like as a really cool, like they may do something like that in the end of this next coming Avengers 4. That could work. That could really work because they're going to be time traveling and dimension hopping and going through the quantum realms and everything. So not that I have zero doubt, but like I genuinely think that they can and should do like a quick universe where the original X-Men from the Fox movies are there. Just give them like Halle Berry and everybody. Yes. Have everybody there really quick. Hugh Jackman, have Deadpool really quick, just in a really quick secret thing. Hey guys, I need everybody here, not on set. Go on a completely different set and make this be a genuine surprise for people. I would love to see something like that. That would be awesome. Just one shot, saying with them just kind of interacting with each other like, who are you guys? We're the Avengers. Who? That would be a hysterical scene. If I'm writing that movie, if I'm directing that movie, that scene is in the damn movie. You know what I'm saying? That would be fantastic. I would love to see that. Can't ever have too many Storm figures. You're not wrong, Brewery. The Infinity War Hulkbuster by Hot Toys is dope. Yeah, I've got a Hulkbuster up here, but he's a really small one. I do have one of the pieces somewhere. Oh, here it is. I started gathering together all of my spare Build-A-Figure pieces. I've got a bunch of them in here, and one of them is one of the legs for what's his name. You know what? I've got a lot of pieces for Sandman. I think that I should build Sandman too. I've got the head and I've got the body. I think I have one of the legs. Maybe not, but either way, I got the head and the body. I mean, that's like 4 more parts that I need for him. I might as well just build him. So maybe I'll just do that. Anyway, okay, just did that one. Silver Surfer is greater than the Hulk. It says Doug Fillmore, he can absorb his gamma radiation to turn him human anytime. And you, my friend, are not wrong. Paisan, you? Prof, can you handle an Italian comic? Yeah. I mean, reading and stuff. Oh, no. Just really quick, I was looking to send you a link for a pretty good one. If you got one with a translation, brother, because here's the thing. My great-grandmother, we always called her Little Grandma, she died when I was 14. She only spoke Italian, and with a heavy Sicilian accent, obviously. And, yeah, the only thing she could say in English was Mr. Ed. If you ever watched that old TV show, Black and White, Mr. Ed, she could almost sing the theme song. That's how good her English was. She can almost sing that, and everything is just, a horse is a horse, of course, like it's the easiest freaking song in the world. Anyway, I used to talk to her in Italian because that's the only way that we could communicate. And I haven't spoken Italian, not really, since then. In fact, when I went to Italy in 2002, 2001, 2002. I think it was in 2002 when I went to Italy. I had a hard time remembering anything, and it was messed up. And I went to Sicily during siesta time. We were only there for a very short time, and I was disappointed. So it is what it is. But we were all over the mainland, and I can't tell if it was because my Italian was just that bad or my dialect was just too southern, that so many people didn't understand what I was saying. It's like they barely, like, I know you're talking Italian, but not good Italian. I'm like, wow, man. F you. They probably wouldn't have understood me being able to say that either. So, yeah, I would not be able to read it if it's in Italian. But, yeah, that's a shame. I would love to be able to read something like that, though. If there was a translation for it, forget about it. Definitely do it. Mark Texeira art in Green Arrow and Scarecrow. GR, Ghost Rider and Scarecrow was amazing. Mark Texeira is amazing, dude. Just his work in Jungle Adventures, the introduction to Killmonger. You know what I'm saying? Mark Texeira was amazing. The lady who plays Wonder Woman is pushing it on Twitter. I forgot her name. Gal Gadot. Oh, she does the... Huh. Donald Glover. Thank you, Def Rocker. Appreciate it. Thank you, Stephen Grant. Thank you, Armistead. Geez, everybody's just throwing... Okay, thank you guys very much. Records of Lodoss War. Oh, I never watched that. Dragon Ball Z. Gosh. Geez, everybody's throwing on Donald Glover. Yes, it was Donald Glover. Couldn't remember his name. Thank you, genuinely, from my heart. The whole reason why we have Miles Morales is because of him. Okay, I'm going to start trying to wrap this up now. You see the new Venture Brothers? I don't watch Venture Brothers. Viclops. Viclops! There, that's how you pronounce it. Viclops X-Men. I don't watch it. Hey, Reggie Smith, what's going on? How many comics do you read per week, average? On average, you can actually check my my playlists. Every week, I make a playlist for the comics. That I review. So if you go to my main page and scroll down to playlists, you will see, and it'll tell you how many videos are in there. You'll be able to just count the numbers, and you'll be able to make your own mean, number average for all the comics that I read. But usually more than 20. Yeah, I read a lot of comics, but I get a lot of comics sent to me for free. And then I've got an arrangement worked out where a lot of the bigger name comic books that I don't get sent to me free yet, hopefully one day I will. I'm hoping to start getting comic books a week in advance from some of the bigger guys, like I do for some of the smaller guys. You know what I'm saying? I would love for something like that to happen. Just be able to review the stuff at my own leisure, and then just have them set aside. And then I can also put up the little cryptic Twitter messages here and there. I can put little reviews on my website and just stuff like that, so that I can try and influence, and tell people about the good comics that are coming out and my opinions on them. That's really what I'm looking to do. That's one of the main things I'm looking to do with the channel, besides explaining characters. JLU will be on the streaming service. No, who knows when what will happen. Yeah, I love that they're doing that, but also Ghost Skittle. The main thing that I love about the DC streaming service is that they're also going to allow you to have to get a comic book subscription through there. Meaning you can get the digital comics through there. So if you get the service, you can actually read the comic books also. That right there, guys, is just, why would any of us not have that service at that point? You know what I'm saying? That is pure amazing. Rory, there's a Facebook Canadian group dedicated to Marvel Legends. I'm on there. You can sometimes find Build-A-Figure pieces there. Yep, I'm on there. And that's how I got a few things, actually. One person recognized me. One person recognized, they recognized my name. And like, oh my God, I'm a huge fan of Comic Book University, dude. I'll send you this thing for free. And I'm like, okay, do I want friends to have my absolute, home address? No, I do not. So that's when I went out and got a Posters box. Just because, you guys are awesome. And you all want to hang out someplace, let's go hang out someplace. But hanging out at my apartment, not cool. Not cool. Yeah, so if I meet you, we hang out and we're cool, sure, come on over. But somebody knocking on my door. Hey, you're Comic Book University. Like, yeah, yeah, but this is not. This is my home. Looney Tunes 22. Hey, I'm from Jersey too. Which part, dude? Whoa, Dick, you don't pump gas in Oregon either? Really? I thought it was just us. Which part of Jersey are you from? I'm from Asbury Park. Loved when Black Knight turned into a living sword and Hogan used him to kill Set. Right? Jeffrey Lane, Comic Book Universe. Isn't Night Watch going into the MCU? Yes. Spike Lee is supposed to do him. That's actually why I did Night Watch, explained in a minute. What are your thoughts on Omega Red not being in Deadpool 2? Oh, if they didn't have... That's the thing. I'm of the opinion that if you've got a good story to tell that story. But don't... I don't like the idea of saying, hey, can you write a story about this? Because then it's not their inspiration, it's yours, in which case you should be writing it. You know what I'm saying? So if they don't have a good story to tell, then don't tell it. You know what I'm saying? See you later, Paula. Yeah, you were the first one here, besides me. But, yeah, I gotta wrap it up. Raven, Ant-Man and Wasp ends the mention of evolution, so opening is there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think Secretary Ross will create the Thunderbolts after Avengers. Oh, I mentioned this last week, I think. What the heck is it called? Thunderbolts needs to be a TV series, not a movie. That needs to be a weekly episodic TV series, something to that effect. What are your thoughts on Terminator 6? The female Terminator looks like a female Arnold. Awesome. I'm down with it. As long as it looks good. They were originally supposed to use China for Terminator 3. The girl who played her, I can't remember her name right now. She's a beautiful woman. She did a pretty good job for all intents and purposes, but I think that having China in there would have looked even better. That's just my opinion. I think that would have looked really awesome. Joni Lawler, however you pronounce her name. God rest her soul. Absolutely amazing woman. Amazing woman. She put up with so much crap, man. How much is a DC universe? Depends how much of the universe you're getting. The entire thing? From Jersey City. All right, dude. Cool. So you're from Bloodhaven. The current idea is that Gotham City is, in fact, Newark. And Jersey City or Trenton. Actually, I think a cross between Trenton and Newark is supposed to be, Gotham. But Bloodhaven is, in fact, supposed to be Jersey City. So say hi to Nightwing for me. Also, the DCEU is doing the multiverse with Joaquin Phoenix. I know. Just like DC has 3 Jokers. Yeah, I'm down with it. Dick Fillmore, guy who played Robbie Reyes on Avengers, is the new Terminator. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Gabrielle something. Def Rocker, you're from Newark? Awesome, dude. I remember I went down to, up. I went up to, I've gone to Newark a few times. But a lot of my friends, like, it's funny because, like, I'm from Asbury. I was one of 6 white kids in the entire school. And I remember I would go up to Newark with some of my friends sometimes. And the Orange Bowls, like East Orange and all that. So we'd go to the Orange Bowls every so often. And people just like, dude, you're going up to Oranges? You're going up to Newark? Aren't you going to get shot? And I look at them like, why would I get shot? What are you talking about, dude? I'm not walking down the street going, oh, I'm a tourist with my wallet out and just like, what are you... Come on, man. People don't just get shot walking down the street on average. Lately, who knows? But that's not the way it works, man. Plus, like, when push comes to shove, dude, hello, I'm from Jersey. We have gun control in Jersey. People still get shot, but when you're from Jersey, you're more likely to use your fists than anything else. Tire iron also happens. That happens on occasion. But usually, like, yeah, we're more of a, bring it on, man. Like, no, like, why would I get shot? Gonna have to bounce now. All right, later on, go Skittle. I meant how much. I know what you meant. I'm sorry. I don't actually know how much it's going to cost. I don't think they actually gave us a price yet, but pretty soon. Christopher F. Brooklyn over here. Brooklyn's nice. I got lost in Brooklyn one time. I walked too far away from the subway. The subway, I could read the subway stuff, but I walked too far away from the subway and I couldn't find my way back. So then I had to try and find my way back to the subway. I'm just looking, hey man, how do I get to the subway? Which one? I'm looking for the E. Like, dude, I can't. Where am I? And you don't want to look too much like a tourist. There are many Italians living over in one part of Newark. Yeah, there's a lot of us living in Chicago too, in one part of Chicago. My grandfather actually lives in Chicago, so it's like just such a funny thing. Christopher F., that's how it used to be, but now kids pull out guns, no more knuckles. What? Really? Ugh. 4 a.m. here. I'll sleep in a couple. Take care, Professor. Yeah, take it easy, brother. Mi paisan. See you later, man. But yeah, I'm gonna actually jet too. I got some Thor Ragnarok waiting, and probably some leftovers too. We had a killer salad, dude. Absolute killer salad with some of that Costco rotisserie chicken. I'm just saying. All right, guys. Seriously, yeah, 2 hour and 5 minute podcast. It was a lot of fun. Real facts. You're a G. Thanks, man. Oh, G. I just don't have my black tier. All right, guys. Love you guys all. Thanks for stopping by, and catch you on the flip side. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.